This episode is sponsored by Fairfax Football Academy, the best QB training and development in all of Northern Virginia. Follow on Instagram at Fairfax Football Academy. You'll be happy that you did. All right, welcome back to All Hitches, Nova's #1 football podcast. Coach Mesa, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Felt like fall today. Actually felt like fall today on the outside.
It was a nice day.
It was a nice day. It was a nice day. And it was exciting, right? We got to be on Chad Ricardo's new show on Fox.
Yeah, man.
Which was exciting. You know, other people got to hear our hot takes.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And hopefully that will get people to like and subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you to Chad Ricardo and Fox for having us on, and we think this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Louis. Right? Yeah, good old Casablanca reference there. Casablanca, one of my favorites. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I think it could be. And we talked to Chad, and we'll probably be coming on again to talk about Nova football, especially as we get down the home stretch here, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to see us more there talking, on a bigger level, you should tweet at him, right? Tweet at Chad Ricardo and let him know that you enjoyed the segment with us, and let him know so he can know that we have people who enjoy what we have to say.
That's right, and that is Loud AF with Chad Ricardo on Fox Local. Make sure you check that out. All right, buddy. Well, week 6 in the books. Books.
A lot of interesting games, right? A lot of really intriguing games that kind of, again, we're starting to see, I don't want to say a thinning of the herd, but we're starting to see teams start to separate. And we're getting a better idea of, where things might shake out. I think you and I have some ideas, where the big games are going to be. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting week. I think this week really told some tales this week.
Yeah, it's definitely thinning. It's thinning faster than my head of hair, buddy. All right. There's teams out there that I'm like, where have you been? What happened? I miss you. Right. And there's new teams popping up. Yeah. Like a guest uninvited at your front door. And you're like, look at this guy. Where'd he come from? I mean, it's getting crazy out there now, buddy. It's getting crazy.
The good old drop in, right? The good old drop in.
We're seeing a lot of drop ins.
Yeah.
And we don't know what kind of guests they're going to be. Are they going to be long term, or are they just going to be in and out of our lives forever?
Yeah, we've had a few of those, right? Or this year, right? Teams that we were pretty certain were looking at the championship, and now we're like, oh man, looks like they're not where they would like to be.
Right. I mean, and lots to talk about, I guess. But before we get into that, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. We got your favorite segments. These are your favorite segments. We got players of the week, buddy. Players of the week. These are guys who busted their humps all week, worked hard, went to every practice. They didn't miss. They didn't skip practice. These guys been going all season, these guys. Yeah. We're going to start up with the National Conference. We got a bunch of first-timers, a lot of first-timers.
Yeah.
Edison, Owen Morris, young Owen, Zach Morris. Looking cool walking in a Bayside.
Does he have the brick cell phone when he walks?
Oh man, he had the cell phone. He's calling Kelly Kapowski. He's calling after this day. He was calling Kelly Kapowski. He's calling all of them. Owen Morris, 4 touches, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. What impressive stat there for Owen Morris out of Edison, correct?
Yeah. And at Edison, and that was in the win against Lewis.
And Edison has struggled with it this year, and it's nice to see a breakout performance like that from someone from Edison who had a really successful year last year and definitely trying to rebuild. And so looks like they have something to build with.
Yeah, man, good job, young Owen Morris there, buddy. Good job. All right, moving on. And this is a little getting kind of fancy with this one, but we both talked about it. And we both agreed on this one. Patriot Conference. There's a lot of good choices.
Sure.
You got to go with our man, Duarte. 2 weeks in a row. Talk about it. 2 weeks in a row.
Back-to-back winner. In a huge upset. I'm sure they like it's not upset. We knew we were going to beat West Springfield. But, after a 17-game losing streak, to win 2 in a row And for him to lead them like that, I mean, really
Wow.
impressive. We thought someone who's doing that, who now has them in a possible playoff conversation, right? Couple more wins, and they're going to go from an 0-10 season to possibly a playoff win. I mean, but hats off to the staff over there at AC and him especially. I mean, to be the workhorse he's been.
Oh man, love this guy. Duarte, like you just said, 2 wins in a row. And because of that, he gets 2 players of the weeks in a row,
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 2 70-yard runs.
Yeah.
A lot of twos here. That's the theme. Don't tell me he wears number 22.
I think he does wear number 22.
I think he does. It's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, and I'm going to do you one better. I think it's D'Angelo Duarte, which is 2 D's in his name.
It is.
Man, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket right now. I'm just going to buy
wild.
two. Yes, it is. Deuces are definitely wild. And I'll tell you what right now, if they win again next week, I don't even know who they play. I haven't even looked at it yet. I think it's South County. I don't know. If they win,
South County.
Is it South County? If AC wins again next week and Duarte does his thing again, he's going to unprecedented. He's going to get 3 in a row. We're going to name him right now 3 in a row if they win again.
I'm with it.
I'm going to have a heart attack over here. Fantastic. I feel like one of those guys on QVC Network selling baseball cards. Holy smokes.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
All right. But congratulations to that young man. All right.
Awesome.
Liberty District. First time and this team is lighting up. I got some things to talk about with this team later on. We'll say that for later. Lebkisher from Marshall, 28 carries, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a huge win against
gigantic win against undefeated. So somewhere out there, the 72 Dolphins are like, one team is gone.
That's right. Bonacani and all those guys popped open the champagne, and they can celebrate, not having to worry about Langley anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, but so good job, Lebkisher. 28. I talk about a workhorse, right?
Yeah.
All right. Concord. We got our man. No, he did not invent the internet, from Madison, Joe Gore. A pick 6 and an INT and a huge win against South County.
Yeah. I mean, what a defensive performance they had. Definitely a statement win, and we'll talk a little more about that. But, last week it was all of Madison's defense.
Yeah, the whole led by Ambrose.
And now another one of his fellow defenders, again deserving of a Player of the Week award.
11 angry men over there, Madison. 11 angry men. Good job. All right, now we go west. Young man. The Cardinal. Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at all Hitches. Mr. Herman. Herman Jackson. Garfield versus Colgan. Gets the win. 2 touchdowns. He had 4, but 2 got called back. So he got 2 touchdowns. Over 100 yards rushing. Talk about it. That's your guy, Herman Jackson.
Yeah. What a big win. Carl Frederick picked Colgan. I know he liked Colgan a lot, and so do I. I think Colgan's a pretty good team. But man, Garfield looks like they are poised and ready to make a run over in the over here in the this region.
Yeah, they look good. Garfield looks really good right now. Look out for them. You got a good running game, and you got a ton of speed. Look out, especially in the playoffs. All right, and then closing it out. Cedar Run. I mean, it's shocking he hasn't won this award this season. Our man Coven Smith, 3 touchdowns against OP, 120 yards rushing, killing it right for Gainesville.
Yeah, Gainesville. And I think they got a big game coming. I think Gainesville might be playing Patriot this week. I think that's coming down. But he last year he missed due to an injury, and this year he looks like he's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, man, good stuff there. And if that is a battle for Cedar Run this week, I can't wait to talk about that later in the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Well, and then there was one left, one thing left, one award. And this really is your favorite.
It is.
This really is your favorite. The Highlight of the Week award.
Yeah.
I was going to set you up for this. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So it goes to Jeffrey Overton Jr. He has this amazing run against Falls Church. And I love the guys at Falls Church, but man, this guy was zigging and zagging in and out. Broke. It was not a run. It was a pass. It was a shovel pass. The longest, the easiest 6-yard shovel pass Isaiah Friend's going to throw all year. But all he just flipped the ball forward, and they got to see the really amazing running styles of Jeffrey Overton.
Yeah, I thought he went down like 2 or 3 times in that run.
Yeah,
that was pretty impressive. So congratulations to young Jeffrey Overton. Well, that wraps up the players of the week and the highlights of the week. So everyone, congratulations. Look out for a DM from Coach Mesa. You'll be getting that, and he'll get that information to you.
Yeah. All
right. Well, buddy, let's get into it, man. Without further ado, let's get into it. We're talking games of the week from last week. We had our Fab Five, and we started off, led the marquee, and I don't think it disappointed at all. It was a pretty good game. Marshall Langley, talk about it.
Yeah, so I mean that game was started pretty slow. It seemed like it was back and forth, and eventually Marshall takes a 21-7 lead going into half. And I think the key moment of the game was Marshall gets a kickoff and then runs 9 minutes off the clock to take a 3-score lead. And so then Langley starts to have to press a little bit on what they have to do. I think Langley eventually scores. They get a kickoff return for a touchdown. They then have to onside kick, because at this point you don't know if you're going to get the ball back, without how efficient they were. But then Marshall starts putting the ball on the ground. They start fumbling the football, which kind of kills momentum. But that rushing attack, they were firmly in control of that game. And again, I think the backbreaker of the game was a 9-minute drive to open the second half to take a 3-score lead. And against an offense like that, a 3-score lead with essentially going into the fourth quarter, it's just really hard to overcome. I thought Langley fought tough, but when Marshall just keep the ball away from you, there's nothing really you can do about it. And as effective as they were running that option, they ran a lot of counter option this week, which I thought was pretty impressive the way they're doing it. That quarterback is really good. I mean, his ability to read, his ability to pitch, his ability to orchestrate that offense to kind of be the trigger man thing is really impressive. I thought Langley played them tough, but Marshall is for real. I think that we may have undervalued, after seeing what Madison did to South County. I think we may have undervalued how impressive, while they did lose, how impressive they did actually, fight with Madison.
I mean, I agree with you. I was high on Marshall early on.
Yeah.
And I kind of turned my head, not going to lie. There was that tough loss to Madison, which, I mean, come on. The loss of Madison, right?
Yeah.
Top 3 team in the state. Yeah. So you're right. And I think I'm back. I am back on the Marshall bandwagon, buddy. I'm back on. And
shouldn't you have something like a wig to be a statesman?
No, you know what, buddy? Because, right here, it fell off and it used to say Marshall. Like the kind of like the sheriffs, but they're marshals.
Yes, I know.
So I'm a Marshall guy. I got a text from Steve Richmond. He said, "Look out." He's like, "We're playing tough football." And he said, "You better start, showing us respect." And I said, "Steve, it's coming, buddy. It's coming. So here you go. Giddy up. I am back on the Marshall bandwagon." And I'll tell you what, it's coming down. You and I were just talking about this. It's coming down to the next few weeks, and that conference is getting it's coming down to the end here.
Yeah. Lots of really good football left in it. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of knockdowns, drag out fights in there for the next few weeks in the Liberty.
Well, and a little peeking ahead, we might see Marshall W&L.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Although, is Yorktown gonna have something to say about that? I don't know. They might.
Yorktown's doing what they do, right? They get better and better and better as the season goes on. Yeah. So
we'll have enough time to talk about those guys as we
will. But Marshall, I mean, outstanding. And that tough. We've been talking about that. I mean, look, one of our players of the week, right? I mean, I had his yardage right here. Uh,
179, 3 touchdowns.
Lepkisher, 170 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
28 carries. 28.
Yeah.
Man, it's a tough son of a gun. So, yeah, I think they're here. They're here to stay, folks.
Yeah.
All right. That's a Stetson, buddy. Stetson. What that is. All right. We got Herndon. Herndon and W&L. And this one was also, I think, all that it was cracked up to be. It was the mad scientist on offense versus the genius on defense, and they kind of went at it. Talk about it.
Yeah, so I thought Herndon was really in control of that game. I mean, they had a pick six, they had another pick. I thought they were playing really well defensively, but I think that the game came down to, I think we talked about before, it was going to be Herndon's offense against W&L's defense. And it seemed like W&L's defense had a really good defensive game plan for Herndon's offense. They turned away 4th and goal from like the half-yard line. I mean, that's an impressive stand right there. And hats off to W&L to be able to battle back from a pick six and an interception. They pick off a ball early in the game and give the ball to Herndon gets the ball, I think, on the 20 going in. They get all the way down to the 1-yard line and they can't punch it in. So Herndon definitely did have their opportunities to kind of take control of that game. But, W&L has kept on clawing and fighting in there. And, I thought it was a very impressive win, a very, kind of a dig deep and kind of find yourself for W&L to kind of get themselves out of that position that they were in.
Well, almost to paraphrase, was it Randy Cross? They came to see a defense, and the other one showed up, right? Yeah. I mean, was that Randy Cross? Did I get it right? Randy Cross. And you would know that. I knew you would know that. That was a great quote. And W&L's defense showed up. Now Herndon's defense did too, though. It wasn't one of those where the other one didn't.
No.
Right, Herndon's defense showed up big time. But I think we kept talking W&L offense, Herndon D. W&L offense, Herndon D. Well, the team that was able to do it on both fronts, that's who won.
Well, I mean, Herndon scored 9 points on their defense. I mean, they scored a pick six and they got a safety.
Right.
I mean, Herndon's defense scored 9
points. Right, no, that 100%.
Very rarely if your defense scores almost double digits, do you lose the game?
Yeah, that and therein lies the problem, right? So W&L was able to do it on both sides, right? Offense and defense.
Yeah.
Congrats to them. And we talk about Nick Bonacani and those guys putting away that champagne. Well, they only put it away for one Liberty team.
Yeah.
They got to pull it back out and wait. They got to wait a little while longer.
Yeah.
W&L undefeated right now.
W&L is undefeated. They are.
Yeah. See what happens. Another big day from Abramson.
Yeah, another big day. I mean, that offense is really good, and he had a lot of heat on him. I'll tell you this much: they definitely put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, there was a lot riding on him. So he was able to. I think he threw for a couple touchdowns. I think.
I mean, and Herndon, going forward, that's a good team. Still looking for that signature win, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Still looking for that signature win. A lot of football left. Right, a lot of football left. A month left. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, buddy. Well, moving on to the game that we talked about that once upon a time would have let off the marquee and kind of fell to third billing. It probably could have fallen to even later than that. South County, Madison. Just a few years ago, that was two teams that were in the state tournament together.
Yeah, I mean, they both have. Well, Madison is not. Madison's been to the state title game a couple times.
Yeah.
South County has a state title championship in a few years. What a statement win, though, right, from Madison?
Man.
And I think they had to, right? Because they had just got done seeing them play Hayfield.
Yeah.
So now it's not an apples to oranges, it's an apples to apples comparison, right?
Yeah.
I think this shows that, that how dominant Madison is right now. I know that South County is dealing with a
lot of injuries.
Some injuries. Definitely not in the place you want to be. Coach Panoni's a fantastic coach over there.
Right.
I'm sure he's trying to patch some things together over there. But I think Madison had to show that they could be dominant again against a very talented and very well coached South County football team.
Yeah, I mean, the 11 angry men led the way. Again, we talked about it earlier. Again, another winner in our awards. I mean, you had Joe Gore, okay, the pick six. So defense leads the way. And then you have obviously have Nicely, and you have Yates.
Yeah.
So they're rocking and rolling right now. And what was that? 40? Was it 42-0? Is that what 42-0? It's in the same ballpark.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And
And they don't. And Madison does not play the same type of football and offense that
right,
Hayfield does,
right. And you had mentioned that. You said I'm going to be keeping an eye on that score of that game because it needs to be in the same ballpark. It kind of needs to be in the same, and I think it was.
Yeah, it definitely was. Again, statement win, right?
Yeah.
And actually, if I look at, give me a second here to go to the Google machine. It was 35-0 at the half.
Yeah.
So very similar, type score to South County and Hayfield.
That's true.
Definitely not the schedule I think that South County thought they were going to get early on. They didn't understand. They didn't know that what was going to happen over at Hayfield.
Right.
But 35-0 at the half. Again, you have to show that you're ready, that you're on par, or at least can play a dominant like game like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you keep seeing this, right? And I think Chad Ricardo was talking about that today. We're seeing Madison, we're seeing Hayfield, and a lot of this could happen still, right? A lot of this could happen. A lot of great teams out there. We'll talk about that in our top 10 later, our power rankings. But right now, the collision course, we are week 6, still far away. You're kind of seeing it though, kind of seeing something.
Well, it reminds me a lot of in California for the last 10 years. There's 2 teams. It's Mater Dei and St. John Bosco. There's 2 teams, and everybody knows it. Other teams are going to have, ego and have pride, and we can knock those guys off. And a couple times Bosco gets knocked off occasionally. But for the most part, everyone kind of knows it's those 2. They're on what's one I can make? So I'll make one that's familiar to me. The Cowboys and the Niners, right? Everyone sees it coming. Everybody sees it coming. And I think we all see it coming. Does that mean that that one of those teams can't get knocked off? That doesn't mean that, but I think right now, if we're just being honest with ourselves, this is the collision course that we see, right?
Yeah.
If one of those teams play a team that they have to beat a team twice, then things can happen, right? Because you have an idea of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if we were going down to the good old high school MGM. I think I'm betting pretty heavy that's going to be the 2 matchups in the state semis.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and when you were saying that, I kind of first thing I thought about was the old New England, the old Brady New England and Manning Indy.
Yeah,
right. I mean, somebody could come up and knock them out. Remember the Jets knocked out. Sanchez's Jets knocked them out one year.
Yeah,
but sitting in week 6, you're like, I see Brady Manning AFC title game happening, right? Yeah. And that's kind of where we are right now.
Right.
All right, man. Well, good stuff there. All right. Now we got one coming up here. This was the Mesa special.
Yeah.
Mesa special. Your guys over at Garfield are very appreciative. And I had some hot takes after the game on Friday night. And coach said, hey, don't forget about the Red Wolves over here, buddy. Garfield Colgan. Colgan.
They won 48-21.
Wow.
A couple pick sixes for Garfield. One was like a tip screen pass that got picked off. But unfortunately, that goes against the quarterback's stats. George Hall's a really talented quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big kid. I mean, he's. Mm-hmm. I really want to get out there and watch them play, but tough for Coach Scott over there at Colgan. I know that Carl liked him a lot, liked what he was doing over there. But that Garfield team is explosive. Between Hamlin and Jackson, 2 player, one former player of the week for us, and the other one current player of the week for us.
Yeah,
I mean they are just explosive. I mean they're really good. I like. I've got a chance to see them live, and then I've watched a couple of their games. They're really talented, and that's not taking anything from Colgan. Colgan's still trying to. I think they're still trying to get in their first playoff ever. Because I know they're not a very old school, and
yeah,
I think they still have a really strong chance at making the playoffs this year. But I think that Garfield team has a chance to do something special in the Cardinal District.
Yeah, I think they do. You and I were talking about this before we came on, and we both like Garfield a lot. We
Yeah.
think that they could be one of the teams fighting for that conference in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks well. I mean, if we're talking about that, right? I think right now you'd have to look at them in Woodbridge, then Forest Park.
Well, yeah, I agree. I'm liking Garfield more and more. That's called the tease right there. That's a teaser for what we could be seeing later on today.
Yeah.
But I'm liking Garfield, and I know you're a big Forest Park guy.
Yeah. Forest Park's pretty talented. They're pretty physical, but and Landon Hunt obviously is a special running back. But
Yeah.
I think Garfield has some explosive guys that they're gonna have to really deal with.
Yeah, it's getting fun. Fun over there in Cardinal. It's getting fun. All right, buddy. Well, coming up, we had Fairfax and West Potomac, and that's become kind of a fun little rivalry sort of. I remember when they knocked off the junior year Rojas Fairfax team, which was a really good Fairfax team that year.
Mm.
And the next year they went to the state tournament, but that year that team was good enough to do it. And but Westpo knocked them off that year, so they just kind of developed a nice, fun little rivalry. They played in the playoffs a couple times. They've had over the last few years. They've had some nice matchups. But this one was all Fairfax. Final score was 36-13 was the final score. Just a couple notes. They were in control pretty much throughout. Travis McLean for Fairfax on defense all over the place. All right, looking like a young Rolando McLean.
Rolando McLean, that
you knew I was going to say that, didn't you?
I knew you were going to say
that. The Moman twins showed up. All right, so the Moman tough running, and the receiver. This is one of the big takeaways. Nick Murad. Remember that name, buddy? We talked about him a little bit this year, but we haven't talked about him enough. And I think he's a quarterback for Fairfax, and he's starting to kind of feel comfortable in that offense.
Yeah.
And if he's throwing the ball a lot tonight, or he threw it a lot on Friday night, and if he gets comfortable, and you add a gunslinger, to that running game, dude, look out. And that defense, look out, buddy. Ethan Lynch, our man, Marshawn Lynch came back, beast mode, came back, played a lot of safety.
But he wasn't Marshawn Lynch for this game. He was John Lynch for this game.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm slipping in my old age. That's a good one. Yeah, Ethan John Lynch played a lot of safety, right? And defended that fade ball that Westpo loves to throw. And then so I mean, and of course, West Potomac, I mean, they got weapons, right? I mean, we've talked about it. We got a couple award recipients. I mean, you got your man Maloney.
Highlight of the week.
Yeah. Maloney's a stud.
Dominic Sanchez was the week.
Sanchez. So, I mean, we know that Westpo's got weapons, and they're always a threat. So, I mean, for Fairfax to handle them, it looks like Fairfax they had the Braddock scare last week that kind of righted that ship a little bit.
Yeah. And now they've got to worry about playoff seeding. So obviously they're trying to get themselves where they need to be. And I know the coaches we talked to were really complimentary of not Fairfax, of Dom Sanchez from West Potomac.
Right.
They thought he did really well.
Yeah. So big win for Fairfax, big conference win, and kind of getting right and getting ready down the home stretch.
Right.
All right, buddy. Well, moving on to actually another game. We're going to stay in Patriot. And this game was not on our Fab Five. It wasn't even, it was probably towards the bottom of best of the rest, my friend.
It was.
It was rest of the rest.
It was.
But as Herm Edwards said, this is why they play the game.
Yeah.
All right, this is why they play. So
is this the upset of the year so far?
You know what? I think it is.
The upset of the year.
I think it is. Because this is a team that everyone said was going to go 10. People were talking.
Yeah.
All right. And they're wrong. People are wrong a lot of times. People are wrong. People were saying stuff.
Ask my wife.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ask me. You're always wrong, buddy. Not like Carl, though. Carl, God bless you. Those picks looking a little hurting right now. Yeah. A little hurting in those picks. We'll talk about that. Hopefully we'll get Carl on later in the week. But, they started off that game, 70-yard touchdown run by our man, two-time award winner, Duarte. All right. And 70-yard touchdown run. That's got to leave West Springfield going. Because they watched that Woodson film probably all week.
Yeah.
And they're like, crap, this guy's a load. This guy's a freaking load. But then they come right down. They get the ball back. Walbert throws an interception, leads to a field goal. So they were up 10. West Springfield, or I'm sorry, AC was up 10-0 quick, real quick.
Yeah.
But Walrat leads them to long drive, 1 yard plunge by Davies, so it's 10-7. Okay.
Davies not having a sneaky good year this year.
He is, and he's come on the last few weeks, especially. Yeah, no, it's true. You're right about that. So 10-7. Then again, another good drive at West Springfield. Walrat to Davies, 44-yard touchdown pass. And then it's 14-10. Remember, we were watching it, and you and I were like, I looked over, I think it was to you and maybe somebody else, and I'm like, okay, they're probably in control now. 14-10, well, shows what we know, talking about being wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so AC, kind of goes back and forth a little bit. A couple turnovers, by West Springfield. They were having a decent drive. Our man White, great running back, he turns it over on the opening drive of the half. AC capitalizes. Okay. Pick six by Cisse, our man Cisse, and he was in our preseason write-up for AC.
Oh, yeah.
So Cisse gets the pick six, and all of a sudden it is 17-14 AC. And right about that time, people were looking at down score stream or everywhere else, and they're going, oh, crap, there's a ball game over in Springfield, 17-14. But West Springfield answers right back with Davies, a 1 yard plunge, 21-17. And you're thinking that might be the ball game, because what have we said about West Springfield? The cardiac kids.
Yeah.
So they playing on the edge, but you got to be careful. So they're up 21-17, living on the edge. Duarte with a 73-yard touchdown run, ball game, 24-21.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
what a win! I mean, you got to feel good for those kids, right? Those kids suffered for their whole year last year. They've been, it's been pretty rough on them for a while, and for them to kind of and kudos for them, right? I mean, for those teams out there that are struggling a little bit, just look to AC. And look kind of what they're doing, right? I mean, just keep on plugging away, going to work, and good things can happen, right?
Yeah, impressive. And you brought up a good point, though, right? Earlier, you said, talking about kind of the cardiac kids living on that edge.
Yeah.
Not putting people away and letting people stay in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've talked about before, my time as a coach. I've always tell them, just get us to halftime. Just get us to halftime, and then I'll figure it out from there. Get us to halftime. I need you guys to fight through there. We'll figure it out. We'll adjust. And it looks like what they did, right? They adjusted, and I'm talking about West Springfield too. I know this is not the season they envisioned. I think a lot of us envision them as being in a region championship game, and they can still be there. I mean, there's still time. There's still time to figure them out.
Yeah.
But right now, I know they might be reeling a little bit after this.
Yeah, a lot of football left. You're right. A lot of football left. Got to regroup now and kind of, fix things. But a lot of football left. A lot of football left for sure.
Talented squad, good coaches over there.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Parker over there, excellent coach. They have some talented kids. Definitely though, have to kind of circle the wagons, right?
Yeah. And no one circles the wagons. I wasn't going to say the Buffalo Bills, buddy. No one circles the wagons like our next guy here, Bruce Hanson. No one circles the wagons the way Hanson gets his 300th victory, Yorktown against Centerville. He did it at home. He was waiting, buddy. He was waiting to be at home. That's what he wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, and against a quality program, right? In Centerville.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. 300 wins is such an accomplishment, isn't it?
Man.
To be able to win that way, I mean, is just huge on their part. And they put him away pretty early. Oddly enough, he went to that game at 1-2 against Centerville career against Centerville.
Wow.
He's now 500 against them.
500.
Yeah, lost the first two games against Centerville, the first time they played him, and now he's won these last two.
Out of curiosity, you're the stat master. Do we have his career losses?
His career losses. I don't think let me see if I can.
Because, and I don't think, I mean, 300 wins is amazing. I'm just always curious, almost like the Brett Favre thing, right? Like Brett Favre was the all-time touchdown leader, but he was also the all-time interception leader, right? So I'm just curious, when someone has 300 wins, God, how many losses does that come with?
I don't know. I'd have to find a way to tally that up. That might be
all right. So the stat master was on it. Stat master was on it. But yeah, man, impressive. Congratulations to Yorktown, to the Hanson family, to the whole Yorktown community, the players, administration, everybody. That's very impressive feat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's the Don Shula of Nova football.
Is he? I wonder if he is.
Oh, you mean the all-time?
Can you think of coaches in your career who have had one? You have to have that kind of longevity, right? Yeah. You have to have a coach who has been there for so it's 86 was his first year, 85. So you're looking at 40 years. Is there anyone you can think of that the Hall of Fame coach at Annandale?
Yeah, Coach Adams.
How long was he there? I mean, I'm sure he had to. I mean, because he was dominant for a long time, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Coach Adams is a good one.
I wonder where Coach Pannoni's at.
Because longevity is such a big part of a stat like that. Right. Longevity. I mean, you could be a great coach and then retire after 10 years, 15 years.
Right.
So, I mean, a lot of that is longevity.
It's 40 years. I mean, it's that's what I'm looking for. Jerry Rice, right? Jerry Rice was great, but what also helped him was, I mean, and he was great for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
But he played for a long time.
Yeah, the guy that I always put in the longevity for NFL, talking about NFL stats, not Jerry Rice so much, because Jerry Rice was just a badass for most of his career. I mean, he was killing him with the Raiders as an old man. I always put Emmitt Smith in that longevity award.
Yeah.
Is Emmitt Smith like the Arizona Cardinals, Emmitt Smith?
Yeah.
He had a couple 1,000-yard seasons over there, but he wasn't a great running back anymore at that point.
Well, Dick Adams went for coach 19 years and there's no way he's close to 300.
Right.
Yeah, you would have to find somebody.
19 years at Annandale or 19 years period?
19 years at Annandale. Was he anywhere before that?
I don't know.
Can you think of anybody else who might?
I mean, the other one would be God, I'm having a brain fart.
Who was the coach who was at Battlefield and Woodson?
You're talking about Cox. I was also thinking the Lake Braddock coach.
Because he was at Woodson and he's at Battlefield for quite a while. I don't know if it equals 40 though, but he won. There was years he's winning a lot of games.
Yeah.
But also to get to 300, if you coach 30 years, you'd have to win 10 games a year.
Yeah, I know.
Right. That's the issue, right? Is the longevity part of it.
Longevity, right? Buddy. Longevity. You need like Jack LaLanne have to be a coach, you know?
Yeah.
Man, that's wild stuff. So we got some stats to look up, and we got fans out there. They can tell us if they can tell us who is the Don Shula if it's not Coach Hanson. Is there a Nova Don Shula that has the most wins that we're not aware of? And if there is, by all means, we are listening. We are listening. Yeah. All right, buddy. But wait, there's more, because that was just the games that headlined. We still had the best of the rest.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly kind of go over those. And there was one or two good ones actually in that list. Falls Church, Hayfield, 64-0. You know, a huge day for French, by the way. 7 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's off of how many passes?
I think like 8 or something like that. Something.
Speaking of all-time stats, is that the all-time fewest passes to get 7 touchdown passes? It might be.
It might be.
It might be.
Sounds like something nice to do on Tecmo Bowl.
It does. Right. Lake Braddock with the big win, 55-14 over Woodson.
Yeah. Bordeaux looked really good. They had a lot of running backs. I know Kai Austin and Jack, we were at that game. So, I mean, that's why we have a little insight on there.
Braddock sat a lot of guys.
They sat quite a few guys. And, way to get your backups, some run and ready for but
yeah.
right, you never know we're gonna need them.
Yeah, no, excellent job. And Braddock's starting to peak. Braddock's starting to peak, my friend.
Yeah.
And can't wait to get to this list I got later. It's burning.
Well, they're in the driver's seat right now for a district title.
Yeah, Braddock. Everyone thought, maybe a few weeks ago they were like, "Oh, Braddock's kind of slipping." No. Braddock's not slipping, buddy. They're here. They were playing possum. Here they go. Here they come. All right. We had Lewis. We had Lewis at Edison. 49-0 win for Edison. It's a tough one for our man, Coach Choate. They call that the Victory Bowl. The Victory Bowl. So, but there will be better days ahead for Coach Choate and Lewis. I feel like they really are starting to turn things around this year.
Yeah.
All right. Going down the list. One that might have been what you call an old barn burner. South Lakes and Chantilly, buddy. That 30-28 Chantilly wins. South Lakes made a comeback in the fourth quarter of that game.
21 points.
I feel like for a second, that's the South Lakes that you liked in the preseason. That South Lakes that kind of made an appearance there in that fourth quarter. That could be a big turnaround for them.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. South Lake's been struggling for a while. But Chantilly also need that win, right? That's one of those ones where Chantilly really need to get a win to try to get themselves in the playoffs. But
right.
What a strong finish though by South Lakes. Huh?
Yeah, man. And maybe that triggers something, right? To kind of maybe make a run right now because they got the talent, they got the tools, they got the talent. All right, we had Justice and Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon wins big, 40-6.
Yeah.
40-6.
I know you were really impressed with Mount Vernon early on, right? So maybe and they've had some big scores, right? Last couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have. And we said if you're it's high school football, all right, you got a quarterback and you got a receiver. That's a boxer who's always got his knockout power, right? He's always got that puncher, So look out for those guys down the stretch here, and they will be fighting for that last playoff spot in that side of the region. By the way,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Wakefield versus Westfield. I was surprised by this score, honestly. 63-0. I would have not been surprised by it a year ago or 2 years ago, but I thought, Wakefield looked to be kind of turning things around little by little here. And they still are. I just thought I did think it would have been a little bit closer. But
and I think Coach Bosser had mentioned that he wanted to gain momentum as the season went on. It looks like that's what he's doing, right?
Yeah, look out. Here comes Westfield. And a couple teams over there. I know, I think Chad Ricardo said in his show today, and you can watch that on Fox Local. And if you tune into the 21-minute mark, you'll see your All Hitches hosts. But he said on that show today that because he was at the Madison South County game, and he said the Madison guys were saying that they wanted, some of the Madison players were saying that they wanted, they're ready. They're ready for Hayfield.
Yeah.
Well, slow down because you got Westfield right here.
Yeah.
Right.
And conference rival, right?
Right. Look out for Westfield. All right. We got out west, young man. We had a couple big. I can find it here. We had Hilton and Potomac. Hilton at Potomac. Potomac won big. Yeah. We had Freedom Woodbridge and Forest Park. Forest Park. Yeah, Forest Park won. Those are your guys, Forest Park.
Yeah.
We had Battlefield winning big over Unity Reed. We had Osborne in a close
63-0 was the Freedom score.
Yeah. Osborne with a close game against Freedom South Riding.
Yeah. So Freedom South Riding put in a little fight over there, right? Osborne.
They did.
So looks like Freedom South Riding trying to figure things out over there.
They did, and yeah, Freedom South Riding. I mean, you and I have said it. That's a well-coached team.
Yeah.
And they're going to be, they didn't come out on the winning side of this, but they're not going down without a fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And then obviously Osborne Park, Patriot won big in that. And that kind of rounds up the Northern Virginia scores in week 6, my friend.
Okay.
But we are not done. We're not even close to done. Did I stutter?
We got you for 2 whole months.
For 2 whole minutes, we got you. 2 whole minutes.
I think this is a spike in our viewership. I think people skip ahead to this.
People like, who does like a power rankings? It's in the name. The word power is in it. Everyone likes power. All right, here we go. Power rankings coming up right now. First thing is first, my friend. Okay, we got to talk about who's outside looking in, who wants to get into the club, and who's not getting let in. All right,
who's not on the list? Who's the doorman saying sorry?
That's right. The doorman is saying sorry. You can't get in here, and they're saying, what do you mean? Show me where it says Screech is on that list. Show me. You ever see Made with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau?
Not.
Great movie. It's a young Favreau, a young Vince Vaughn. We're after swingers.
Yeah.
They're two just idiots, and they're waiting to get in this club, and they're not getting let in because they're two nobodies. And Dustin Diamond, who's Screech from Saved by the Bell, he gets
rest in peace, Dustin Diamond, right?
Rest in peace. He gets let into the club because he's an actor, he's a celebrity. Yeah. And they let him into the club, and Favreau and Vince Vaughn, and in their dry wit, they start giving the bouncer a hard time. And they're like, you're letting that dude in, you're not letting us in? And he's like, you're not on the list. And they're like, show us where it says Screech is on that list. Let me see your list. Let me see your list. And you know who the bouncer was actually in that movie? Furio.
Oh, from The Sopranos?
Sopranos. He's the bouncer in that scene. So it's a good little movie. If you have a chance, check it out. It's called Made. All right. Well, who's not getting let into our club, buddy? I'll start off. We'll go tit for tat here, buddy.
Okay.
Herndon. Herndon is like Little Richard. They keep it knocking and they can't come in. Every time Herndon's got a game, we just said that defining game, and I love that Herndon team. They're a good team, but I need them to win that defining game, and I can let them in back into the club.
I got Woodbridge. Woodbridge is knocking the door.
Okay. You're Dapper Dan, man. You're a PW man. I like that about you. I like that. All right. Robinson. You know what? Around here in the Dash household, we don't forget about you when you're on a bye week. Okay, we remember teams around here, buddy.
I got the big win, but just not big enough yet. I got Garfield.
Yeah. Actually, great minds think alike. I got Garfield as well. Outside looking in, they are on the cusp. I'm very impressed with what I see. They're on the cusp of getting in.
Okay.
I got one more.
Okay, I got 3 more.
Ooh, Ali, you're very generous to your sidewalk of your club. A lot of room. I got to push mine away so we let the ladies.
I feel like there's this big group of people. Like just it's. I think we have like this like group that's kind of all mushed in together, and you know.
Well, I got one more. I'm gonna say mine. You can say your 3. I got one more.
Okay.
One, just one. Congratulations to AC. AC, baby. AC is on a roll. If AC wins this week, and we're going to talk about it, I am opening that door and letting them into the club myself personally. If AC wins this week.
All right, so I'll name off the other 3. I got South County.
Okay.
I got Fairfax.
Okay.
I got Langley.
Okay, I could see that. All right. I mean, all good picks. Some of those guys I have in my club, actually. So
okay. Well, then who do I have that you don't have at all?
Well, let's get into it, man. Starting at 10. It was a tough loss, speaking of which. And they fell down a couple notches. I think they were as high as 5 or 6 last week. They're down to 10 right now. Langley. I'm not forgetting about Langley because of one tough loss.
I got Forest Park.
Okay. Weren't they higher last week in your list?
They were higher last week.
Just randomly dropped them. Did you have a reason for that?
The strength of schedule playing Freedom dropped
That's
you.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, I agree.
I put them into the computer. Put them into the big IBM computer with the 2 real reels that go side to side like that. Like it's like an 80s computer.
Yeah, it's like the in the Batcave, in Adam West Batcave.
Yeah, it's like the Adam West Batcave. So because of that, they dropped down to 10.
All right, all right. Number 9, Westfield.
At number 9, I got Lake Braddock.
Okay, Lake Braddock making a run. Making a run. I like it. At 8, Fairfax with Murad coming on, the passing game. Look out, baby.
At 8, I got Westfield.
All right, you jumped my Westfield.
Yeah.
All right, okay. 7. Marshall's back, baby.
At
Marshall.
7, I also have Marshall.
Look at that. See that? Lucky number 7. Marshall's back. I'm going to get a little star that says Marshall right across the front here. Like Pat Garrett. Remember Pat Garrett?
Yes.
He was a marshal. He deputized Billy the Kid, Emilio Estevez. He deputized Emilio and Kiefer and all those guys. All right. I learned the facts of life from watching the facts of life, okay? All right, here we go. 6. W and L. This is Liberty makes a run right here. At 6, I got W and L.
6, I got Gainesville.
Okay. Okay, Gainesville. 5, I've got Gainesville.
At 5, I got W&L.
Wow, a little flip-flop there, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. At 4, now, where the big boys play. This is 4. This is where the big boys play from here on up. Congratulations. Welcome back. It's been since week 1 since they've been this high. Lake Braddock. Lake Braddock, baby.
At 4, I got Patriot.
Wow.
Where the hell do you have Patriot?
Just wait, buddy. Just wait. 3, Battlefield.
At 3, I have Battlefield.
Yeah, you don't know what's coming here, buddy. You don't know what's coming here. 3, I got Battlefield. 2, I have Patriot at 2.
Oh, at 2, I got Madison.
Oh, man. If I had like an NWO shirt, I'd rip it off right now. 2. So I got Patriot. You said you had Madison at 2?
I have Madison at 2.
What am I going to do? I only got 1 pick left.
What are you going to do? Did Hayfield drop out?
I'm surprising the world. You're shocking the world. I got a 1A and a 1B. I got Hayfield at 1A. I got Madison at 1B. 1A, 1B.
Look at that.
They both came out and beat Soco in very similar games. To me, they're right here together. And these next few weeks, when one's playing Westfield, one's playing Riverdale Baptist, it's going to kind of just break that off and see who the real 1, who the real 2 is right now.
All right. At number 1, I have the Mission Viejo Diablos.
Jeez.
At number 1, I have Hayfield.
All right. Look at that. Look at that. Well, man, it's a good list. That list is getting heated, though. It's getting heated.
So they're tied at 1, huh?
Tie at 1.
Is 1A better than 1B?
Yeah, you can make that argument. I will have to look at that. But the fact that you and I talked about they both did similar things to that common opponent, to that former juggernaut.
Yeah.
And they were both very impressive in those wins. And so I got to give them both respect. That's going to weed itself out. It'll figure itself out.
Yeah.
So right now we just got to enjoy a little harmonious 1A and 1B.
Hold on. I got it. Are they in the WWF Heavyweight Championship Tournament? Honor the Giant Hulk Hogan with the first round bye.
Yes, they are under the Giant Hulk. That was WrestleMania 4, by the way.
I thought it was 4. It was 4.
WrestleMania 4.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 4.
with the first round bye, huh?
First round bye. And we got gypped, and we got Macho Man versus Ted DiBiase in the main event.
Do you know that they wanted Ted DiBiase to win the tournament and they ended up switching the switching up at the last minute?
Wow, what Hogan said, that doesn't work for me, brother.
No, the Honky Tonk Man refused. Was it Honky Tonk Man? Whoever was the Intercontinental Champion was a heel, and Vince McMahon did not want 2 heels as his champ.
Yeah, heels. Yeah, heels rarely won WrestleMania.
And so, because he didn't want 2 heels as the champion, that's why Ted DiBiase ended up not winning it because of Vince McMahon and his creative saying that he didn't want 2 heel champs at the same time.
Well, who will be our $1 million champion when it's all said and done?
I mean, that's why they play the game, right?
That is what Herm Edwards, baby. That is why they play the games.
Yeah.
Well, Another fun one, buddy. Another
Yeah.
fun one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
And next week, I mean, I know that you really dislike Prince William County for some reason because you're a Fairfax guy.
Hey, take it easy. Take it easy.
But next week, the game of the week is going to be in Prince William. I am telling you right now.
I might have a thing or two to say about that. Maybe if that Roy Rogers was still out there, I'd say that it would be game of the week. When they closed that Roy's, buddy, they lost. Now they did open up a out in Manassas. They have a
Cracker Barrel?
no. What's the other place called that has like the bunch of milkshakes and cookout.
Oh, yeah.
Cookout's kind of key. I'm a big cookout guy. But a piece of me died the day that Roy Rogers closed down out there.
Well, there's still one next to Mount Vernon.
Yeah. And Alexandria's we got a couple out there. But that's more my neck of the woods. I'm not really a PW guy. That is true. Nothing personal against PW, but I'm closer to this side than I am that side.
But next week is Gainesville Patriot.
That's two heavyweights. That's two heavyweights. That's going to be something. But I can top that right now. I'll raise you a Marshall W&L, buddy.
I mean, okay. Sorry.
I'll raise you a Marshall W&L.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a good game, but yeah. Well, I guess we'll talk more about it. But
we're gonna get into it. I'm ready to get into it right now. We can do a double header right now. Speaking of 2-2-2,
let's play two. Let's record two.
Right. Who was the 999 guy? The Godfather Pizza guy?
What's that?
What was it? What was his name? 999. He ran for president.
Oh, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. So I'm like this instead of 999. This is 2-2-2-2-2. It's been all twos tonight. So we can do two shows too right now, buddy. We can do next week's show right now. Travel in my DeLorean and we'll just do it.
We could. When are we gonna make our predictions on what the playoff season is gonna look like?
All right. Next time we'll talk about predictions for the playoffs. We'll bring out the Swami and we'll do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Next time. All right. And we'll make sure we tell people to subscribe in the first part of the show.
I did.
You did?
Remember? I was like,
my memory's shot.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to close with it too. So, folks, don't forget to subscribe, hit that button. Okay. We're growing. We got, our main man, Chad Ricardo, talking about Nova football, its own segment for Nova football. I mean, that we'll be able to give our power rankings. This is all because of this organic, community we've kind of created here.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. It's grassroots and it's growing strong. Let's keep it going. Keep going strong.
Let's keep rolling. Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy. Well, from Coach Dash and Coach Mesa, been fun on all Hitches today. We'll see you next time.
See ya.